so for now, my apology. I didn't have my audio on earlier, but thank you for joining me. This is a new break from career mode, so now I'll be doing some bush pilot. So let's go back to where it was, since you guys missed the first part. So there's some short field takeoff, short field landing, updraft, downdraft, water takeoff, water landing, and the bush flying test. So I'm just going to go through these just to be more familiar, but it should also help my pilot training to improve my skills. So I am going to do these. So thank you for joining me. It's a break I need from career mode to just see something scenic, beautiful, challenging, and calm. Hopefully it's calm, right? So let's go ahead and do the short field takeoff. And yep, in this briefing, expand your horizons as you take to the Alaskan mountains to learn about the art of bush flying. Runway lengths can be dramatically reduced in the wilderness. Knowing how to take off quickly is an essential skill to master when bush flying. You'll be flying the Cub Crafters X-Cub today, a plane featuring a constant speed propeller. So, alright, let's get this. Alright, this looks pretty beautiful, so let's see. So I am getting a few things ready to make sure my settings are ready. And 1 minute, let's get ready to fly.
Now it's time for something more wild and challenging than just a run-of-the-mill takeoff. Not all runways are long, flat, and clear of debris. Let's try taking to the sky from a more rugged surface. With the brakes applied, go ahead and increase power to full throttle. It's a little more difficult to keep straight during the takeoff roll on a loose surface such as gravel, as you lose some steering control.
Okay.
Go ahead and set full throttle.
This
runway is shorter than one you'd find at a larger airport, so we need to modify the takeoff technique to get off the ground and climb as quickly as possible.
Okay.
First, apply the brakes and hold them so that we don't roll forward until we're ready to go.
Okay, so brakes and full power.
Excellent. The engine instruments are all in the green.
All right.
Now release the brakes and we'll get going.
Okay.
Rotate at 40 knots. Now smoothly raise the nose to 15 degrees.
15 degrees.
Now that we're safely off the ground, go ahead and retract the landing gear.
Retract the landing gear. Perfect. Wow, this is pretty cool.
Maintain a 15 degrees, nose up attitude to hold a climbing airspeed of 68 knots.
68
now
knots.
retract the flaps to improve our climb rate. Great. Now keep on climbing straight ahead. Pull the nose up a little more for a good climb rate.
Okay.
Pretty good. Keep practicing and you'll nail short field takeoffs.
Thank you. All right. What? Come on. My climb was better than that. All right, let's go to the next training. short field landing. All right. So this is interesting. Let's see how this is done by the professionals. Start this. All right, so let's go ahead and we're ready to fly. This is beautiful, man. Very beautiful. Whoa.
Now that you've taken off from a gravel runway, let's try landing on one. For this short field landing, the terrain dictates that we need to approach at an angle.
Blindfolded.
Start by deploying the landing gear and get ready for our approach.
Okay, landing gear.
Don't climb any higher.
Why am I blindfolded?
Gears down for runway landing.
Great. Aim for an approach speed of 55 knots.
What? What am I doing? How can I aim when I don't have the...
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
What is going on? Is this...
Down for runway landing.
This is ridiculous. I'm not expecting this.
Down for runway landing.
You know what? Let me restart this because I think there is something sinister going on here. I wasn't expecting this. Are you kidding me? Wait, you won't find any major airports along runways and mountains. Let's learn how to come back down to earth and stop on a on a dirt landing strip. Landing in the wilderness requires accuracy and precise speed control. Hone your skills in the short field landing tutorial. When landing on short runways, perform things too smooth of a landing can up runway distance. What? Alright, understood. Alright, so I'm going to restart this because I was not expecting a blindfold. Or what is that on the... something is strange. Either someone forgot to take off. It's on the outside, so what the hell is that? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm gonna restart this because this doesn't make any sense to me. There's nothing on the screen now. Oh, there we go. This was
Now that
crazy.
you've taken off from a gravel runway, let's try landing on one. For this short field landing, the terrain dictates that we need to approach at an angle. Start by deploying the landing gear and get ready for our approach. Short runways require an early touchdown and full flaps to minimize our rollout so we don't run out of runway. Next, fully extend the flaps. Go ahead and fully extend the flaps. Great. Aim for an approach speed of 55 knots.
55 knots.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
Okay, 55 knots.
Gears down for runway landing. 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 Gears down for runway landing.
Watch out.
Gears down for runway landing.
Don't go too slow.
Gears down
Aim for 55 knots.
What are you talking
Aim
about?
close to the beginning of the runway so we have the longest roll possible,
What are you
but be
talking
careful not to undershoot it.
I already landed.
Gears down for runway
But
landing.
this is like,
Cut the power just before touching down for a nice, smooth landing.
Gears
what?
down for
Once
runway.
we touch down, apply
Okay.
the brakes to bring us to a stop.
For runway landing.
I'm
You
just
got
gonna.
too slow before landing.
For runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
This is weird.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
So, are you gonna
Gears down for runway landing.
comment on my landing?
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
I'll admire the place until you come back. I don't know. I think I left my pilot somewhere, but it's very beautiful here.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway.
Should I restart this mission? Yeah, there's a glitch in this. Wow. So, I already landed, but my
Gears down for
I think I might have left my instructor somewhere else.
Gears down for runway landing.
So
Gears down for runway landing.
I'm waiting for.
Gears down for runway landing. 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 Gears down for runway landing.
Still waiting.
Gears down for runway landing. 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 Gears down for runway landing.
All right, let's hit enter back. So I'm not hearing anything.
Gears down for runway landing.
So I am going to restart
Gears down for runway
this
landing.
mission. Since I think I landed, but I at least wanted credit for my landing since, yeah, there's a glitch in this. Started off being blindfolded, and now my instructor is all over the place.
Now that you've taken off from a gravel runway, let's try landing on one.
Okay.
For this short field landing, the terrain dictates that we need to approach at an angle. Start by deploying the landing gear and get ready for our approach.
Okay.
Short runways require an early touchdown and full flaps to minimize our rollout so we don't run out of runway.
Okay.
Next, fully extend the flaps.
Gears down for runway landing.
Go ahead and fully extend the flaps.
Gears down for
Okay.
runway landing.
Great. Aim for an approach speed of 55 knots.
Gears down for runway landing. 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 Gears down for runway landing.
I'm too low.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
I already slowed to 55, but she's not saying anything.
Gears down for runway landing.
And this is not cool. I'm already at 55, so why?
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
Don't go too slow. Aim for 55 knots.
Okay.
Aim close to the beginning of the runway so we have the longest roll possible, but be careful not to undershoot it. Cut the power just before touching down for a nice, smooth landing.
Gears down for runway landing.
Once we touch down, apply the brakes to bring us to a stop. You got too slow before landing.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears
Well
down for
done,
runway landing.
but there's room for improvement.
Gears down for runway.
All right. I'll take it. All right. Well, why is she in the... Well, she's in the back seat. Okay. So this tail dragger, it's front and rear seat arrangement. Let's go to the next training. I can redo that actually, because I want to perfect it. All right, so this is the updrafts. Updraft, learn to take advantage of nature and soar like an eagle, riding updrafts along the mountainside. This tutorial will introduce you to updrafts, updraft moving air currents, creating lift in the process. These currents originate from the windward side of mountains, cliffs, or hills. These are the same air currents. These are the same air currents can enable gliders to stay in the air for hours while ridge flying. Okay, let's do this. Right, updrafts.
Mountain flying has its own set of hazards and requires its own set of specialized skills. Mountainous terrain, especially at high altitude, often creates dangerous turbulence, even when conditions appear dead calm. Fly on the right-hand side of the valley ahead, maintaining 2,000 feet altitude and 100 knots airspeed. Air flows over mountains like water does over rocks, conforming to the topography both on the upside and the downside. Air forced up the side of a mountain by wind creates updrafts, often unpredictable ones. Try to keep a speed of about 100 knots. Let's ride this wave of rising air and soar along these ridges like eagles.
2,000 feet.
With the wind out of our left-hand side, fly just above the right side edge of the valley to ride the updraft. Your speed control needs some work.
I'm climbing. Okay. Updrafts, updrafts.
Now that we're flying alongside the valley wall, you'll start to feel the aircraft want to gain altitude. Maintaining altitude needs a slightly lower pitch attitude than usual. We're now ridge soaring like an eagle. Turbulence often comes with updrafts, so prepare for the going to get a little rough. Try to stay in the rising air to get a good feel for it.
Okay. This is beautiful. Very cool. Look at that. Oh. Cool.
As we reach the gap in the mountain wall on our right side, the updraft will level off and then ramp up again when we reach the other side of the gap.
Okay.
Well done. but there's room for improvement.
All right. Very good. Very good. Whatever. All right. Next training exercise. And downdrafts, all right? Learn to respect the forces of nature as you fly through hazardous downdrafts. Think of downdrafts as the opposite of updrafts. As air flows over the mountain peak and down the side, causing your airplane to lose lift and get pushed towards the ground, these air currents are dangerous and should be respected as such. All right. Let's start flying. All right, let's do this. So why would you want me to fly on one side? How do you know which side is
You've
going?
seen how updrafts help with lift as you soar along a ridge. Aim for 2,000 feet. This time keeping over to the left side of the valley, putting us on the downwind side of the mountains. The opposite of an updraft is a downdraft, where air spills over a mountain or ridge and descends down this backside slope.
So you want me to be a little...
You'll find it difficult to maintain altitude in a downdraft, so keep a high power setting and watch the altimeter and be ready to work the controls, especially the elevator. If it gets too much, make a gentle turn to the right towards the middle of the valley. This will take you out of the downdraft.
Okay. Oh. Go back down.
Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Okay.
Now that you've experienced a downdraft, you'll know how to react the next time you encounter one while flying in the mountains.
All right. So what's the next training exercise? Oh, gosh. I don't think... Take to the water and discover a whole new way of flying. Amphibious aircraft open up a new world of possibilities, allowing you to explore the Earth in a completely different way. You'll be flying with the Cub Crafter X Cub today, a plane featuring a constant speed propeller. All right, let's do this. All right, let's fly this.
The X-Cub isn't limited to hard surfaces. We can experience the glorious Alaskan landscape all the more with our water-going capabilities. To get started, let's look at a basic water takeoff. It's much more difficult to accelerate when in water, so you want to get as much lift as possible as quickly as you can. To reduce our takeoff run, use the second notch of flaps. Set the flaps to their second notch position.
Okay, there we go.
All right, we have a water rudder retracted and the gear is up. Go ahead and increase RPM lever to 100%. Now give it full throttle to get us moving. Use the rudder to aim for the gap between the island up ahead and the shoreline. Lift the nose just a little after 38 knots to get airborne.
Okay. Reach 100 feet.
That's it. Now reduce the flaps to their first notch position.
All right.
Now we can retract the flaps completely. Good. Keep us climbing straight ahead. Aiming for about 68 knots to get the best climb rate.
68 knots. Whoa, I'm at 100. Okay.
I think a bit more practice may be a good idea.
Yeah, whatever. You should have told me at first to go to 68 knots when I take off. I'll redo this. So I'm redoing this one.
The X-Cub isn't limited to hard surfaces. We can experience the glorious Alaskan landscape all the more with our water-going capabilities. To get started, let's look at a basic water takeoff.
All right.
It's much more difficult to accelerate when in water, so you want to get as much lift as possible as quickly as you can. To reduce our takeoff run, use the second notch of flaps.
Okay.
Set the flaps to their second notch position.
Okay.
All right, we have a water rudder retracted and the gear is up. Go ahead and increase RPM lever to 100%. Now give it full throttle to get us moving. Use the rudder to aim for the gap between the island up ahead and the shoreline. Lift the nose just a little after 38 knots to get airborne. That's it. Now reduce the flaps to their first notch position. Now we can retract the flaps completely. Good. Keep us climbing straight ahead. Aiming for about 68 knots to get the best climb rate.
Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Fantastic. Once you nail water landings, you can really start to expand your horizons.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, thank you. So let's go to the next one. So being able to sit down in a lake makes bush flying a hugely flexible and rewarding experience. You will perform your first water landing in one of the beautiful lakes preceding 𝘓𝘓𝘯𝘨𝘢 Airport, Alaska. All right. Let's do this. All right. I feel better doing some bush flying. I'm ready for the bush flying. Microsoft Flight Simulator hasn't released a lot of bush flying missions, and I'm wondering if they're going to
Bush
release
flying
it.
brings a number of
Okay.
great do anything,
Shut up.
go anywhere possibilities. We're going to land on the lake up ahead, so let's start getting ready. Bring the throttle all the way back to idle.
All right.
Maintain your attitude and let the speed drop below 70 knots.
And then add.
Great. Now extend the flaps to their first notch position.
Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Now extend the flaps to their second notch position.
All right.
Gears up for water landing.
Great. Now keep the power low and aim for 50 to 60 knots. A little movement of the water is helpful as super calm conditions make it harder to judge our height. Now we simply come in a lot like a runway landing, keeping our speed nice and low, and touching down with a minimum descent rate.
Gears up for
Aim
water
for a
landing.
nice smooth touchdown in the center of the lake.
Gears up for water landing. 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 Gears up for water landing.
Add some power so you don't get too slow.
Gears up for water landing.
Once on the water, the aircraft will slow hydrodynamically.
Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
All right.
Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Gears up for water landing.
Right. All right. I don't know. All right. Oh, let's move on. Something else. All right, let's see what else. This one is bush flying test. So now I'm going to be tested. So what have you learned? To the test as you embark upon a short flight through the Alaskan mountainside. You'll be flying through valleys, taking off from a lake in 𝘓𝘓𝘯𝘨𝘢 en route to Dogfish Bay, where you will land on a short grass runway. All right, sounds pretty nice. Let's do this. Ready to fly.
Now that we've been through the basics, let's put your bush flying skills to the test.
All right.
We're going to take a short trip through the mountains to Dogfish Bay. Get set up for a water takeoff.
Okay. Okay.
Great, now get us airborne. Now bring in the flaps and keep us climbing to an altitude of 1,500 feet.
Okay. All right.
Maintain an altitude of 1,500 feet and head over to the valley up ahead.
1,500 feet. Let's do something quick.
Turn to the right here and maneuver through the valley. The wind is now coming from our left, so decide which side of the valley to fly over to avoid downdrafts.
To the right. Oh. Wind is coming from the left. So I want to fly to the right. Maintain 1,500 feet. Yeah, definitely want to maintain 1,500.
You've chosen the updraft side of the valley, allowing you to soar along the ridge.
All right. All right, I am.
Dogfish Bay is just ahead. With
Perfect.
bush flying, it is always wise to do a flyover of the landing site first to check the conditions of the strip.
Okay.
Start a gradual descent, and we'll fly past the runway to take a look.
Okay.
The runway looks good to me. Reduce speed to under 70 knots and descend to under 1,000 feet to prepare for approach.
Gears up for
Deploy
water.
the first stage of flaps.
Gears up for water landing.
This landing will be on a short, grass runway. Lower the landing gear.
Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Extend the landing gear.
Water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Gears down for runway landing.
Finally, deploy the second notch of flaps and prepare for landing.
Gears down for runway landing. down for runway landing.
Watch your speed. It's getting a little high.
Gears down for runway landing. 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 Gears down for runway
Okay.
landing.
Well done. Now you can proceed with confidence in your new
Yes.
abilities.
Gears down.
Thank you. So, let's see. This wasn't bad at all. Bush flying test. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. Finally got some respect around here. Thank you. Yeah, so I got an A here. So, hey, I'll take it. So that was pretty cool. Had the stall one, come on. Let's go to next training and see what else is there. It's nice over here. Look at those houses. The left. Wow. Cool. Right. So these are my training. At least the test I did, I got an A. So I was like BBBA, EA. It's like it's a code right there. So all right. So let's see what else I can do. I am going to check out and see what other I said I'm going to be doing bush flying. Did I for navigation? All right, I guess I could end this to make it consistent with what I'm doing. So as you can see, I'll go back. So I'll end this. I just completed my bush flying or bush pilot training. So, and I'll probably jump on something else. But I probably will end this to jump back on to make it consistent. Well, or I could edit this or something. So could put bush flying and IFR. Yeah, we'll leave this, make it consistent with what I uploaded. But thank you guys, I appreciated it. I'm coming right back on in a minute. I'm just gonna see what else I want to do, some other training and flying. All right, I'll take a break, short break. All right, thank you so much. Let's see here.